everybody. I'm Steph.
I'm Michael.
And today we're doing our top 10 games that we learned in June
of 2022. Yeah.
It was actually not terrible, though. we did go to our, let's say, shelf of opportunity to play a lot of games that ended up being a lot of disappointing games.
Oh my
But we did find some good games amongst the batch of 60-something games we played.
Most of the ones, let me look here. Do I have any? I have two games on the shelf of unplayed opportunities that made the list.
Yep.
The rest of them made the pile.
3, 4.
Oh, was that one number 4?
Yep.
Then I have 3.
I had 5 from the shelf of opportunity that were just sitting there. Yes.
Those. That?
Yes.
That too?
Yes.
4?
That one.
No, this was a prototype. What? No. This was review.
No.
What?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
This one?
You had 5. Yes.
This one?
Yes. See, look. He had 5. I had 5.
It's amazing.
So out of the 10,
there's a lot.
5 were from the shelf of opportunity that just kind of sat there until we got to it.
Which most people call a shelf of shame, but we don't have shame around here about unplayed games because every game at some point was an unplayed game.
At some point.
So we call it the shelf of unplayed opportunities.
Yeah.
So
what?
Yeah, let's announce as we go through which ones they were. I think that will be interesting.
Yeah.
So I thought this was a review game.
No.
Coming up.
No.
My number 10.
I'll put our name up there. I forgot that we didn't have that. How about that?
What?
That's good. I did it.
Flight of the Coconut says, really like that you call that rather than shame.
It's not a shame.
There's no shame.
I buy so many games that there's just no way to get to every game.
A lot of times we will get bargains for things.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Or it's like, hey, buy this box of games for $20.
Yeah.
Yes, we will. Thank you.
Yes,
and then we end up, the ones we think we might be interested in, we put on the shelf of unplayed opportunities, and it sits there until we either get tired of seeing it there and sell it, or it gets really valuable and we sell it, or we play it and then we either keep it or sell it.
It's always the cycle of games.
It's this circle of games.
That's right. That's right. All right, we starting with your number 10?
My number 10.
Is it my number? No, it's your number 10.
Yeah, because you're the star of the show.
Oh.
All right.
Right.
Yours has to come second.
There.
So, my number 10 is Raids from Yellow.
Nice. We played this on the stream.
We did play this on the stream. Yeah. It was good enough to make it to the stream. So, in Raids, you are going out on Viking raids. And so you go around using a Tokaido-style movement mechanism, and you're picking up, little things like sort of like set collection, but you're picking up weapons to kill the monsters, or you're picking up more Vikings in order to go attack those monsters or get eaten by those monsters. Or you're picking up runes to collect as a set, or you're picking up or coins. And coins are victory points. So it's just straight victory points in that case. Or sales so that you can pick up more guys. Because, it's all about the number of sails you have on your ship. And that draws the people to your ship after each wave. My one concern with raids is that I don't think it can work as 2-player. But
there's a mechanic where you can make it work with 2-player.
You can make it work as 2-player. It would be better with 3 or more. You can sort of game the system a little bit, but I think with 2-player without the 2-player variant, you would totally game the system. I mean, it would be broken.
It's easy to do that. Also, the thing that I think would boost it in your ranking a little bit is if you had imperfect information.
That was the other thing I was going to mention, and you read my mind for sure. because all of the tiles come out all of the time, you know that there's going to be a place to sell goods, which is another thing you can pick up. And those goods take up a spot on the ship that could otherwise hold guys or weapons or runes or little Mjolnir banners or whatever. But you have to take those goods to a town. But you know there's always going to be a town, or there's always going to be this monster, or there's always going to be these specific goods. And you're like, oh, I know if the odds are there's going to be like 3 more runes left in the last day, and I can probably skip this time. I don't care for perfect information. I much prefer imperfect, randomized information.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
this did not make your list.
Oh, it was probably pretty close.
It was. I looked. It was like maybe a couple off.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I would play it again for sure.
Looking at this was on the unplayed shelf of opportunity.
It was, yeah.
One game that almost made my list, and it almost made yours. I think it was right around 11 or 12. This Pressure Cooker.
Oh yeah, that was also from the Shelf of Opportunity, which is a real-time game, which we played on the stream also.
Where the dials do not work. Don't even try.
But that was fun.
But yeah, that almost made the list. And that, again, that was not even... That probably would have made my number 11 game. And it was barely
missed. Oh, so close.
So close.
All right.
As was another game that you will come to on later on in yours. Barely missed my list.
My number 10... was Pylos.
Pylos or Pylos?
Pylos, I'm not sure. Oh, sure. The one game you played, you show up for.
Of course! So there's... Whoa. My stick went behind me.
Yeah?
So...
Is this your number 1 game of the month?
Yep.
Because
that's the game I played. And... let the record... show.
Yes, I lost to a puppet. And here I thought I was going to win against the puppet. Only game of the month. Exactly. No, it's a solid abstract game where you're moving around, placing these balls and making a pyramid stack. That's what you do.
It's very abstract.
It is the definition of abstract.
And since I don't care for abstract games, I let Senor Azul play. Yep.
And he loved it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I really enjoyed this. It's basically a perfect coffee table game.
Yep, I think so, too.
You can play it in 15 minutes, 10 minutes. And
it looks really attractive.
It's really attractive, yeah.
Though it doesn't fit around the game board as what is. The balls are a little too big, or the tracks are a little bit too small.
Just a tiny bit. It's missing one space for one. But yeah.
But no, it's fine.
It's a nice game. If you're looking for a good abstract, this is a really solid choice. So definitely recommended.
Okay, that's all I got.
Yeah, well, you only played one, so.
I like the way Azul spits out the balls when he plays.
It's all on stream.
That's what I do.
If you want to go see the playthrough, you should definitely do.
You should go see the playthrough and see this little critter spit out the balls. Yep. Whoa! Don't hit me. Oh, puppet poker.
All right, that was my number 10.
Bye, Senor Azul. Bye.
All right. Coming in for Michael's.
He had to come in. He had to show up.
He always has to do it. He always has to.
He has to let the record show.
That's right. All right, your number 9.
My number 9 is a game that I did not play in physical form. I played it.
I know, I haven't played it either in physical form.
Yeah.
I only
did
played
it make
on
your list?
Board Game Arena. I did last month or 2 months ago.
Or whenever it was?
Whenever I learned it.
And look, here it is on my list.
Yes.
So, Next Station London. It's super fun. Reminds me a lot of Mini Metro, but it's basically a flip and write where you're drawing out your lines and then, oops, that round is over. That line is finished and you're moving on to the next line whether you like it or not. And yeah, it's got enough interesting decisions to make it super interesting. So, and just like with Mini Metro, you can't just like start in the middle of your line and go out. You have to only go out from the ends. So, though unlike Mini Metro, you can't really erase in Next Station London and then, reconstruct it. You're stuck with what you built.
Yeah, it's like such a great game though. I mean, you're because it's push your luck to an extent because you don't know what cards are coming out, whether or not the round is going to end. You're trying to make these routes that will score you as much points as possible, so you don't want to do unnecessary lines
and routes that will score you as much as possible too.
No. Let's not be crazy.
No, because if you have a subway station and there's routes in the way, then you're going to hit those routes.
Okay, are we done here?
And that's my number 9, Next Station London.
Number 9. No, that's a different game. All right, my number 9.
Number 9
is War of the Worlds.
It did barely miss my list.
Wow, I'm surprised. I thought you liked this one more than that, but
it's got dudes on a map. But
it has a deck building mechanic, which is really nice, and we have asymmetrical decks, so I am doing something completely different than he's doing, and this is a 2-player game, so like strictly obviously 2. It felt really thematic. If you've seen the movie, I did not read the book, but I assume it follows the book just like it follows the movie.
Well, originally a radio show. But yes.
All right, you get the idea. Okay, aliens are coming. You can't beat them up. You're basically doomed. You just gotta try and survive. So whoever can, if you deal 30 hit points to the aliens, or if he kills all 30 dudes, then you're good. We're actually gonna show this one on stream. We have the expansion over there that we just got.
Yeah, we just got it from Gray Fox. Yeah,
we're excited to show that off. Yeah, I really like that one.
Yep, it's fun. There are ways. The aliens cannot move very fast.
No.
The humans are fairly mobile. You're basically fighting it out on the on England, and basically you're running away from me, and I'm trying to zap you, and if you can spread out enough, maybe you can like avoid. But there's ways that I can launch shots into adjoining regions and make things difficult for you. And that's what I ended up doing. Extinguished humanity.
Yeah.
But I'm a Cylon. That's what I do.
I think it's pretty cool. So we'll definitely show that on the stream sometime in the near future. I have not played Blitzkrieg and I've not played Caesar, though I've heard that I should play the Caesar. But this was it was a nice game. So I'm definitely glad we got it. That was one from the shelf of opportunity that we've had for a while.
Yeah, that's right.
So I was glad that we could actually get that one.
Jelfia says that she does reconstructing Mini Metro so many times. Me too. So, yep. Gator Days heard mixed things about War of the Worlds. Glad to see a fan. Yep, it is worth checking out.
I would say so, especially since you could pick it up used for like $10 or something. Yes. So like if you can get it $10, then it's definitely worth trying.
Yeah, and that's how we pick up a lot of these games on the unplayed shelf of opportunity.
Yeah, just secondhand.
Secondhand $5 and $10 games.
Yeah, and it came sleeved. So how about that?
Hey, you know what? With a set of 50 or 100 sleeves.
Sorry, Lance.
You're paying what, $5 for the sleeves, but hey, it's got sleeves in it. So
Bree wants to teach us some games
for sure.
Good rock opera as well. Didn't know. So sorry, Lance. Yeah, but I mean, it's fine. It's even better when a reviewer likes the game that you didn't give them. So there's that.
Yeah, we saw Lance at Dice Tower East.
Yeah, he's doing
And that's how we got the expansion.
Yeah.
So, even though we picked up the game used, because Gray Fox did not give it to us as a review copy, we did get the expansion as a review copy, and they will be delighted to have us show it off on stream, which is what we're going to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Okay, so your number 8.
My number 8 is Pessoa
Nice.
from Pythagoras.
Yep.
Yes, Pythagoras Games. I want to make sure I got the name right. I'm doing that off of memory. So in Pessoa, you are playing one of Pessoa's, I guess, alter egos. What was it? It's called
A heteronym.
Heteronym. I was trying to think. It's not. I was like, it's not pseudonym. It's heteronym. Where Pessoa himself said basically that they are much too lifelike in order to just call them pseudonyms. They are, for real, heteronyms. And occasionally he would give interviews where he would actually
be one of
them and say, oh, Pessoa is not going to be available for this interview, blah, blah, blah. But you're like, why would I want to play a game like this? Because it is worker placement. It is resource and set collection. It is got all of these standard Euro style point collection mechanics, all with just 5 spots on the board, and only 4 of them are mostly used. The 5th one just being the spot inside Pessoa's own head. But yeah, there are certain spots that get locked out. I think it would be far better with more players, but it does absolutely work with 2 players, where there are 2 dummy players that will move around the board, blocking, and they do block you out because there's only 1 spot in each location. Yeah. So, and you have to make the hard choice. Do I want to go into Pessoa's head and lose some action points and then take the action of where Pessoa actually is? Or do I want to actually take control of Pessoa, moving into his self so you can move his own pawn on the board instead of moving your own heteronym pawn? It's just got a lot of really good interactions. And also, there's a wheel that turns as the turns go on. The calendar, yeah. So, yeah.
There's a lot to think about. Even with such easy to learn mechanics, there's still a lot that you're thinking and planning for, which I really appreciate. So, yeah. It's great.
It is a super fun game.
It's super fun.
That is my number 8.
My number 8 is the comic
was a
book
review copy.
Bubble. Yes, we played this on stream.
In early prototype form, actually.
Yeah, but it stuck out. Has a really interesting, like, a buy low, sell high mechanic where you're trying to control the market the best to your ability, but even still, it's pretty chaotic. Well, but there's a bit of control, but there's not, but there is. So you have to kind of maneuver it all perfectly to get what you want.
Well, when I saw the way that things go up 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 13, 11, 9, 7, 5, 3, 1, I was like, there's going to be no way to control this with any great degree of...
Yeah, because things are jumping over each other. They'll
jump over.
Yeah.
And then things that pop out randomly are going to make things move randomly.
Yeah.
But I was surprised... I couldn't fully control it, but I could try to time it, which to me fits the theme of a comic book. They could do this for board games. It could be the board game bubble, and I think it might even be even better than the comic book bubble. But basically, it's like you buy a comic book, you wait for it to go up in value, and then you sell it. And so...
this was your number 7, by the way, so I just put it up.
Oh, hey! It is my number 7 game.
It was my number 8, but his number 7.
My number, your 8, my 7. So yeah, now we don't have to even do mine now.
So I do think that playing with a whole bunch of people would just be too much for me. I do like the lower player counts because I feel like I do have somewhat control, though you are still flipping over a random card.
And I don't think you have the random cards with more players. You do have it with 2.
I think it's 2 and 3. So you still might with 3 players, but like...
I would like to try it.
I would definitely like to try it with 3 or 4 players just to see. Yeah, Dan said it's pretty chaotic with 5, which I can see that. So I might not like it as much with 5, but I think I might like it with fewer than that.
Splitty said you could do it with NFTs. I think with I think with comics, the things that are rare tend to stay high and don't come down a lot. The thing with NFTs, they don't seem as volatile as some of the board games, because a lot of times board games, and this is my pitch for making the board game bubble. With board games, things will get rare, or you know, they're hard to get at the right at the start. Then comes the fulfillment, and it becomes available and on the used market, and it goes down, and then it goes out of print, and so there are these, you know, and then it gets a reprint, and then it comes crashing back down. I think that would better be simulated by this game's rise and fall mechanic, much better than comic books or NFTs for that matter.
Sure, I think see that.
Because comic books don't go up and then back down and then back up and then back down.
The difference,
because there's no reprints on comic books.
The difference with board games is that some board games are just this.
That's
true. They don't have the rise and fall.
But so are comic books. They are.
Yeah. Sure. So
I don't know. I think it better fits board games than comic books. That said, I think the game is it is
meant
solid.
to reflect the market in the 90s.
I was part of the market in the 90s. Things didn't rise and fall. Things started out at like the graphic novels. They had like the Death of Superman or the really dark Knight times or whatever for Batman. And the price started out high, fairly high for a graphic novel. It went up when there were speculators, and then it crashed down because so many copies were done, and that was it. It didn't rise and fall and rise and fall and rise and fall. It had a peak and fell. So yeah. Splitty says same with how old game cartridges are just stupid now. Yeah. But that stuff that was never really high and then all of a sudden goes rare. Not a lot of rise and fall. It was just,
yeah, and that's fine.
You know, anything that gets old enough is going to be rare.
Yeah.
So, but I think
it's still pretty. We liked it.
The mechanics are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting for sure.
Yeah.
And it's easy.
It's not complicated. Easy. Yeah.
So we enjoyed that one. Yeah, working
game cartridges.
All right, let's see. Oh no, that was you. That was your number 7.
Now we're doing your number 7, which barely missed my list, and was also on the unplayed shelf of opportunity. That. Do it.
Deckscape, the Mystery of El Dorado.
That's right.
I like playing the Deckscape games. I do rate them all different. I rate them all individually because they do offer different experiences. Like this was totally different than the crew versus crew that we played at Tantrum Con. You know what I mean? Where we were on a team fighting the other team for puzzles. So I liked this one well enough. The puzzles were okay. I do think it was one of the weaker of the Deckscape games, but I still really like the Deckscape.
So James
genre.
Borrowed it and did not care for it, but he loved test time.
Yeah. So I do think, the other Deckscapes have risen higher on my rankings, but it doesn't mean it's not worth playing. So I do like it enough to try and keep trying all the Deckscapes.
Oh, I will always try the Deckscape games.
Yeah, they're easy to play.
I have given up on a couple of escape room publishers.
Yeah.
Or escape box, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. But I like the Deckscape ones.
But the Deckscapes are solid, as are some of the other ones we've reviewed on stream. Mm-hmm. But there's a couple that I'm like, I got very little interested in playing them. Then we've got one on the unplayed shelf of opportunity from that publisher that I will probably end up playing just because I like the theme. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Yep. Certainly worth checking out. Deckscape. Mystery of El Dorado.
Yes.
My number 6 was also on the shelf of unplayed opportunities, Automobiles.
I had played this.
You've already played it, so it won't show up on your list.
No. Even still, it wouldn't show up on my list.
But the reason why we reacquired this is because
I've had it a long time.
Oh, this was not a reacquisition.
No, it was long ago.
Oh,
like
it went
years ago.
It went on your shelf on the bubble.
To play again. Yeah, it's on.
But it was my unplayed. So the reason you didn't get rid of it is that you said, Michael, I think you were going to like this game because it has deck building.
But I learned that it's going for money right now. So I felt like we should play it to see if it was a keeper. So if not, we could sell it.
Right.
If not, so
I think it's super fun. Obviously, I rated it number 6 on the month.
Yes.
But you've got a deck building mechanic. Not only that, you're trying to run this car around the track, and basically it is a race for 2 or 3 laps, I think it is. But you have to play certain cards to go into certain areas of the track, and if you don't have the cards, you can't move that car on the track. You are not tuning your car up well enough.
Pit stop,
yeah. So, but yeah, definitely a really cool mechanic with that deck building. You only start off with little ones, and maybe I think you have 1-2 card, but the cards go up to a 4 for the big long stretches on the straightaways.
Yeah.
So on the straightaways, the 4s, they're real long spaces. They're like 4 times as long as the small spaces. And
maybe even longer.
Yeah, maybe even longer. So if you take those though, you're going to wear out your engine, and you have to take those wear cards, the tire cards, I think it is. Something anyway, it's something that wears out your car. And so if you run your car too fast, you can end up just drawing a whole mess of junk, and then your car is not going to be going very fast. But it's better to play a lot of those than to get those and play those, rather than having to take the little individual baby steps down at the inside of the track. But yeah, super fun game. Definitely worth checking out from AEG.
Yeah. Well, you can't really. I mean, it's like out of print, but yeah.
It's out of print. Yeah, but
if you find it on the cheaps, we should do it.
Snag it.
For sure.
I should mention, it looks like Planes, which is also from AEG, would be similar.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Totally different.
Because they did trains
too. They
did
trains
which
too.
I think we played.
Have we played trains?
I don't remember. I think we did. We did play it on stream. It's the deck building with the area control. You're building a map from location to location.
Gotcha. Well, with
all 3 games are very different.
Then they are. We also played Planes this month. It did not make my list. It's got a very heavy Mancala mechanic, where it's basically trying to pile up people in an airport trying to get to the gate. And you can make someone miss the gate, and then they got to go all the way around the airport again. And that did not work as well as Automobiles did for me, but we did end up playing it. Just don't want anyone to get Automobiles and go, oh, hey, Planes, I should get this too.
They're
Only
different.
If you like Mancala mechanics.
They're different, yes.
It's where you're picking up a bunch of things from a space and going drop, 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 drop along the way, as you would with Mancala. So.
Yep. All right. That was your number.
My number 6. Now time for your number 6. You need this closer, I think.
I do, because I can't see. And where is this? Oh,
You do have the graphic for it. I thought. Down. No.
I needed that for you.
Yes.
My number 6 is Balada. All right, so this is the flip and right that we played recently on the stream. For me, the rules are super complicated. So it's gonna be a miss for many people just because there's so many different ways to score, but that is also a good thing about the game. So I like that there are so many ways to score, but it went all over my head the first game. The second game, I'm like, okay, now it's starting to make sense, and I understand what's happening. I need the swords and the stuff and to line everything up perfectly. And but I think it's a unique enough flip and right game that it gives something a little different. I don't even know if it's on your list.
It is not on my list. For me, so you say it was complicated. For me, it was not complicated enough. After I played it once, I'm like, yeah, I've played it, and I enjoyed the play. I'm glad to have played. but I think it's not perfect information, but the level 1 cards, you got level 1 and level 2 cards. The level 1 cards are perfect information. You're always going to have those, not the second batch of cards. You're not always going to have those, and that's fine, but I think once I've seen it, I think
you also liked it when we played it, so
I liked it enough to play it on stream, yes.
Yeah.
It didn't make my list, though. I just think it was not complicated enough for me. So.
Yeah, I think the way that everything scores is just is a lot.
Yeah.
It's just a lot.
Where it's like, especially with
if you don't have a play rate or something, just have it like right out so you can keep referring to it when you forget, what do I need the castle to be defeated, or do I just need the castle to exist, or like all these different things. Like
that didn't bother me at all.
Yeah, I know. Well, you read the difficult part, and you know how it all flows. Right. And for me, it's like
what the difficult part is trying to remember. Okay, the tower, and then it's the stuff leading up to the castle that is all worth bonus points.
Right.
But no, you don't have to beat the castle itself.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, so I think it's cute and it's worth trying.
It is absolutely worth trying and is absolutely cute. I would agree with both of those statements.
Yeah.
So, Balada. And what publisher was that?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I did yours.
Whoops. Well, there's my number 5. T for 2. So,
unfortunately, they don't have a straight.
I was
picture.
like, I wish they had the straight on view on that, but they don't.
They don't. Whoops.
T for 2. Also, I did not remember this was on our shelf of unplayed opportunities.
Yeah, I had just bought it.
So that's Raid, Comic Book Bubble, Automobiles, and T for 2, all of which were on our shelf of unplayed opportunities.
Deckscape and War of the Worlds.
And yours has Deckscape and War of the Worlds and Comic Book Bubble.
Well, Comic Book Bubble was a review.
Now, you just told me that was...
Raids and Automobiles.
You said there were...
That's fine. You can't talk about T for 2.
All right. You told me that it was not, and then now you're telling me that it was. I told you it was a review, and you said, no, it's not.
Okay.
Moving on, I guess. T for 2, also on our shelf of unplayed opportunities. This is a super cool deck building game. And obviously, I like deck builders. So, and you love the Alice theme for sure, because that's one of your favorite themes.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to play it.
Right. So, there are certain cards that you can buy. Basically, okay, I'm going to tell you this, and then you're going to say, no, it's not for me. So, it's like War, where you have a stack of cards, and you flip over the top one, and then you see who wins it. But that's not all there is to it. So, whenever you compare the cards, you have to... No, I don't need to underline. Whenever you compare cards, the difference between them is the size card you can buy. So if I play an 8 and you play a 2, I could buy a 6 card from the display, which is fairly powerful.
Yeah, I like that.
So, yeah. So, collect a bunch of those cards, collect a bunch of victory points, and ta-da! You could be the winner. If you can exhaust a stack of cards, then that bonus thing is going to score at the end of the game, which is pretty cool. And if you execute cards off with their head, then if you've got the most, you're going to get some points. You're going to get points every time you get one with the bonus symbol on them.
Stars when you trash it.
Mm-hmm. So... certainly
it's
super fun game.
Yeah, and the artwork's amazing, and then the clock feature was interesting. So there's a lot of good things happening in that game for a quick game. I mean, it can be swingy, but for something so short, it doesn't matter. So for me, that doesn't matter. I would just rather have it on my shelf to play every once in a while. Just a little quick bout, if you will.
What's the publisher on
that? Space Cowboys.
Space Cowboys. Yep. So, another one from the unplayed shelf.
I love it. My number 5. What did I do? Oh, this. My number 5 is is, what is it? Century New World.
Woohoo!
I do think this was the best of the 3 Century games. I don't even know if you've played Century Spice Road, but
I don't think I have. I played the one with the
Wonders.
hexes.
Yeah. So,
which is Eastern Wonders.
That's where you move around.
Right.
I like this one better because it's worker placement. You get what you need.
I also like it better as well.
And now I think that we've played it twice. I feel like I've seen what the game has to offer, but I do like that it does it well, and that's fine. It's not a worker placement game that I need to revisit all the time, but I'm happy to play it, whenever people want to. I think it's a super solid game for something very easy to teach and play. So
I think of worker placement and resource management, I think it's super accessible for someone who's not used to that sort of game.
Oh, for sure. Chad is asking which is the one with the boats. That is Eastern Wonders. The second one with the hexes. Mm-hmm. That's where you move your boats around. And I like that well enough. I do think I do like the New World better though.
And you can integrate this with one or the other or both of the other games.
Yeah, Chad was just asking, have you all played the Mega game?
I
have not. I'm not sure I really want to, but I would consider it just to see what happens. But
yeah, we don't have Eastern Wonders anymore, or
I don't have Spice Road
or either. Spice Road. So, but yeah,
it's not something I'd be opposed to trying.
I would try it.
I'm not sure. I'm like, oh, let's go play that.
Right.
So,
especially with this one being your favorite, would you like adding in those? It's hard to tell.
Hard to tell.
And I would be the same.
Yeah. So that was my number 5.
Your number 5.
Your number
was that was on the shelf.
Yeah, that was on the shelf.
That was on the shelf of unplayed opportunities.
It was indeed. Your number 4, right? That's where we're at.
My number 4.
Yes.
You already put it in the picture.
Yes.
Small World of Warcraft.
Yes.
So I had played MMORPGs or massively multiplayer online role-playing games before. I have not played World of Warcraft. I really don't have the desire to play World of Warcraft. I have played several video games with World of Warcraft theming. Not World of Warcraft, but Warcraft theming. And I've played Small World, and I love Small World. And I don't know if I have everything Small World, but I've got most things Small World. And so here we have Small World of Warcraft. It adds a lot of really interesting mechanisms to Small World. So if you like Small World, you'll probably like Small World of Warcraft. So that should probably be all the recommendations that you need from me. If you're a fan of either Small World or World of Warcraft,
it's easy.
Yeah.
I mean,
is Small World. So.
It incorporates what you know and love from Small World. It has a few extra mechanics going on, which is nice to fit the theming. So I thought it was pretty solid.
Yeah, you've got Horde races, you've got Alliance races, and I think that really does, the theme really does shine through.
Yeah.
Hello, Gumbo.
Hello, Matthew.
Hey, Matthew.
Welcome in. We're just going over our top favorite games that we learned in June, and Michael is on his number 4.
I am on number 4, Small World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it's great. If you love Small Worlds, it's great.
What's up? I haven't done that in years. What's up?
BJ's can't wait for the World of Warcraft themed scout game.
What? Is that going to happen?
I taught him Scout.
Matthew says for the Alliance.
I taught BJ Scout at Dice Tower Con, and then he went on to teach 4 other groups.
What?
I know. I love hearing stuff like that. That makes me really happy. I know. Meaning my job is done.
As a board game advocate.
I've taught the game, and then that went on to teach.
And then they
games.
tell 2 friends, and then they tell 2 friends.
That's basically what happens. So it makes sense. My number 4 is...
Your number 4.
It was your number 5.
My number 5, so we've talked about it.
It is T for two, and two for T, and me for you.
We need Azul dancing.
T for two. It's great.
Board game multi-level marketing.
Yeah.
Splitty says, and we're back to pyramid schemes.
That's basically what it is. Spill the tea. It's so good. It's for 2 players. You're basically building. It's deck building, if you will. You're getting more cards, and you're playing a game of war with the other player.
But it's not war. But it is war.
But it is.
But
war.
It's not.
Like if you lose, you don't get anything. But if you win, you get to take cards, or some ability happens.
And an ability.
Yeah.
You get one or the other.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's or. And then you can spend tokens for the watch ability if you want. So there's all these different interactions for a very simple game, and it can be a little bit take that. But it's fine. It's a cute theme. It has great art. It's really good for 2 players.
Yep. And totally a keeper,
really,
I think.
Really, really like that game.
I see it over there in the keep pile.
It's in the keep pile.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your?
Yep.
Yep. What? That's your number 4. My number 3. Hey, we've talked about it.
We did?
We did.
Oh, it must have been on my list then.
Small World of Warcraft. That was our last game on the shelf of unplayed opportunities.
Yeah, that was on.
Because Days of Wonder did not send that to us.
Nope. So yes. that was definitely on the shelf of opportunities.
So this is my last game on the shelf of unplayed opportunities. It is Century New World.
Yes.
So
correct.
I love worker placement. I love getting sets of bonus cards in order to get points. I love special abilities. I love resource management. I'm going to spend these 2 things over here and these 3 things over here, and I'm going to get this, and yay! And I love being able to block people out of certain actions, or taking that spot, knocking your cube off, and then you put some more on and knocking my cubes off. Or if I have no cubes left, I pull them all back and then redo it all again. It's got a lot of those tasty mechanics that I like. And that's why it made my number 3 position this month.
Yeah, that's nice. I like it.
I like it too. Your number 3.
Well, before we get into that, I just wanted to comment on Dan. Take that in a 2-player game is different. There's not a whole lot of take that in T for 2, but there's a bit like flip that and then it's mine kind of thing. So your deck might become my discard pile. And, it's all luck of the draw. I mean, You're trying to call your deck, but you're trying to also have strong cards. And so it's like a little bit of...
So... Yeah, it hits differently for 2 reasons. 1, 2-player games generally, but not always, much shorter than normal games. And number 2, take that. I mean, I got one other opponent. Only one opponent that I'm going to take that on. It's not, I have to choose between Steph and James, and I'm always piling it on Steph because...
Nobody likes that.
Yeah, nobody likes that.
People like that, but I don't like that.
People don't mind that when it's a 2-player game because who I'm going to target. You're supposed to beat up on the other person.
For sure.
So, yes. And Dan agrees. I object more to take that in games with more players. So, same.
Agreed. It feels different, yeah.
It feels different.
All right, my number...
3.
Small World of Warcraft.
We had a few that overlapped, didn't we?
Just barely. Just missed each other.
We just missed.
But yeah, it's super solid. It's a huge box though, so when you have everything Small World, do you really need this one? Maybe not, but it is a little bit different, so maybe so. You could probably easily mix and match the races between all of Small World as well. It would work very similarly. I think it does a lot of good things. I'm glad we played it because I really like it. It makes me remember how much I love Small World.
Yes, I agree.
So
1000%.
I think it's strong. It's strong.
So we would have had the same ratings if not for my number 1 rating.
I know.
Which you have already played, and I had just played in June.
Exactly.
So that may give a spoiler to somebody. I don't know.
Probably. So I guess we're on your number 2.
My number 2 is what? Aeon's End. Legacy of Gravehold. Now, for those of you who love Aeon's End already, I wholeheartedly recommend it. for those of you who are new to Aeon's End, I would not recommend going with this as your first experience.
Definitely don't.
Aeon's End Legacy, just named Aeon's End Legacy. Yes, you can start with that. That's what we started with.
And then we're like, wow, we love Aeon's End. Let's get all of it.
Or just get Aeon's End. Do not start with this monster right here. However, if you love Aeon's End,
it'll definitely turn you off from the series.
Agreed.
But
if you love Aeon's End already, yes, jump into this with both feet. Aeon's End Legacy of Gravehold from Indie is super fun.
It's awesome. I can't wait to play more. We have to actually just do it.
Yep. A new story, new Nameless, obviously, new mechanics, new ways that things work. A legacy mechanic where you're sticking new rules in the book, but they will eventually just become part of the stuff that you already know and love when you integrate everything into the main game for the pieces that you can. Some things you can't, but I know Aeon's End Legacy, you could put in a large quantity of stuff from that game into the main game, and I think you can as well with this also. So
yeah,
certainly worth.
It's pretty much great.
Pretty much great.
Yeah, pretty much.
Your number 2.
My number 2 was really low on your list. I was sad to see it as your number 8. I definitely enjoyed Pessoa a lot more.
I did not like it more than Comic Book Bubble or Automobiles or T for Two or Small World of Warcraft or Century New World or Aeon's End. So where was I going to put it? And it goes number 8.
It's my number 2 because I enjoyed it more than those. I enjoyed it more than those mostly because it is simple, but you are consistently thinking of some other thing that you need to plan for. And it's only 12 turns. It's like super fast. And so you're planning for the ticks. So it has something to do with like the signs, like Pisces.
Astrological signs.
Yeah, so you're trying to plan for these signs to come into play because you have cards that match, and so you want to take those actions to do with the match the signs to get the extra bonuses, and so I love the interconnections that you have to try and create in this game. I think it's pretty cool. It's solid. It feels different for a very familiar action, worker placement type of game. It feels familiar but different at the same time. So I think it's super solid.
Yep. Now I know Tom Bassel gave it a low review, but I think there was reports that he played the game wrong.
Well, I was listening to him explain. I'm like, that's wrong. So he definitely played it wrong.
So take his review. I normally enjoy the Dice Tower reviews. Take that review with a grain of salt.
I wanted to see.
Go watch our playthrough. We have a playthrough. So, and if it seems like something that you all would enjoy, definitely recommend seeking out Pessoa.
Yeah, I really like it.
Especially with all of the different Portuguese themed games that Pythagoras has. They all have these.
So good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
My number 1.
It's really good. Your number 1.
Who knows what it is? You know what it is for sure. Even if I did not show you, you know what this is. Space Station Phoenix. Which, when you played at the Gathering, you said, oh, I know. This is going to be your favorite game of whatever month it's in. And I'm like, we'll just see about that. And who was right?
Me.
That's right.
It beat out Aeon's End Legacy. That's some stuff.
But
we only played 2 games of Aeon's End. So Aeon's End Legacy has the potential to go higher, I'm sure.
It does have the potential to go higher. I do love all things Aeon's End, but this Space Station Phoenix has some fantastic mechanics where you have multiple different colors of aliens and humans all trying to work together. And you can put the humans just about anywhere and the gold aliens anywhere. And you're building up the pink and the green and the brown parts of your space station. Whoa, thanks for subscribing, Matthew. Woo!
Thanks for that sub.
And you're building up. You're building up. We love the subs. I need the Quiznos commercial. You're building up your space station, and placing guys will give you income and all sorts of bonuses, It's just got
and
all
you have
of
to
those.
kill your action spaces to get metal. I mean, you're scrapping it. So
You're
it's
scrapping your ships to
and so
get
it's
metal.
like you're losing your actions as you go, but you can still use other people's actions.
Oh, and you did that with great effect. On our playthrough on here, what I think the designer said, yeah, you had a really killer move when you placed on. That was a hot take move is what that was.
I was on it.
Placing on mine that you knew I was going to use the next turn. But if she uses it, I can't use it. It's just, it is fantastic.
You got to be clever.
Cannot speak highly enough of Space Station Phoenix. If it'll beat out Aeon's End, and I have everything Aeon's End, it is phenomenal.
Yeah.
If it does not make my top 10 of 2022, years. I don't know if it will reach number 1, but it is going to be in the top 10. I am almost certain.
I would be surprised if it didn't make it.
Yeah.
I think you also learned Arc Nova this year too.
I also learned Arc Nova this year. So
it'll be a
hey, we're already giving a preview of our top 10 games
I
of
learned
2022.
Arc Nova last year. So
last year?
Yeah, I learned it last year.
And that was your favorite game? No.
Boon Lake was.
Boon Lake.
I was the only one to have Boon Lake as the top game.
Yeah.
I like Boon Lake. But maybe Arc Nova should have been there.
I did not put Boon Lake as my top 10.
Oh, I know. Dave says, Space Station Phoenix was a lot of fun. Rulebook leaves a lot to be desired. Well,
I don't remember how much I was frustrated with the rule books, but clearly I ended up learning it.
I feel like I ended up teaching it to you.
I don't know. I remember reading the rule book, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think...
I don't... So that's a quirk with me. I don't like being taught games generally.
I know, and so that's why I remember it. Because it doesn't happen frequently.
Plus, it is a beast for setup and teardown. It's not so bad.
It's a table hog, especially if
it is a table hog.
I don't think we could fit 4 players on this little space right here.
Not unless we cleared off the monitor and the overhead here.
Yeah, it's too much.
Too much.
But yeah, I like Space Station Phoenix. I think that will be a contender for at least my top 25
for both,
of the year.
Well, for both of us, because you had it as your top rated game that month. Yeah, I think
it's great. Great.
That was the Gathering month too. And your number 1?
My number 1 obviously is Aeon's End, the Legacy of Gravehold.
Ta-da!
I really like the Aeon's End universe. I like all of the games you're playing. The 2 games we've played so far felt fairly different from one another, very challenging, but a lot of fun. I like that you can upgrade people. I like that you can upgrade things. No, they're adding a lot of good ideas to this Legacy game. So, hey.
They asked us for rulebook help on one of the past...
story.
On one of the past stories. Hey, if they want to use us for design ideas, hey, give us a call. You know our numbers. We're already in the rulebook, so...
Yeah, so Gator Dave has one of the Aeon's End games on the shelf of opportunity. You should definitely get that played, depending on which one it is. And if it's this one, you should play other ones first.
I like how you even acronymized it.
I know.
Yeah. Sue. It's a Sue.
Gotta have to try this one out. I played Aeon's End Legacy, and the game group liked it. Yeah. So if you're familiar with Aeon's End, then I would say that this is an okay thing to jump into. The first game is very difficult, even for, seasoned Aeon's End players.
And the rules...
They're just weird.
The rules...
Just weird.
Don't explain it perfectly well for someone who hasn't played it before.
Yeah, so if you haven't
there are
played
lots of complaints about this on the forums.
Yeah, there's a lot of forum posts. So
I even went to look for a couple of things just to make sure. I was like, I think I know what their intent is, but that's not what this says.
Yeah.
I'm going to go look, and I wanted to make sure. And yes, it was what their intent was, but they did not describe it, where to place this and where to place that. It was not quite...
precise.
In sync, yeah, it was not.
But I mean, if you can get past that and you get to the next levels, then you're good. And so we played the first 2, so we still got a ways to go.
Chad, not just a diet soda addict. It could be anything with caffeine. So it would need to be someone caffeinated. And that'd be me.
But yeah. It was a good month. It ended up being a good month.
Well, I was really worried because we played bad game after bad game after bad game after okay game after mediocre game after fantastic game and
a lot of misses.
More bad games.
A lot of misses.
So usually Gathering is your high month, and it still is your high month with I think 70-something new games.
New games played,
this was 60-something, 64?
It was significant. We learned a lot.
I think you're going to shatter your 500
We
goal.
made some space on the shelves, but now I don't have space anymore.
Well, because we got a lot of new games.
Got a lot of games to play.
Yeah. So our shelves of opportunity will again be flowing over. Chad says my month was almost Blood on the Clock Tower, but Feed the Kraken bumped it off.
Oh. I haven't played either.
I have not played those.
Maybe I should get on that.
You do play all the games.
Yeah, Dice Tower, I did manage to learn 13 games, so we'll see what shows up this month.
So normally it's more than that at a convention, but we had to show DeFoob and Colorfly all of the fantastic classic games that they needed to play.
Yeah.
7 Wonders, Architect, 7 Wonders Armada, Nations. We had to show them all of those games that Medici, yes. They really need to play. Yeah. And Medici playing that helped me to remember why I liked it.
It's so good. So, I love Medici. I think that's one of Knizia's best.
I should say that I did get to play some expansions at Dice Tower East. I've always enjoyed Terraforming Mars, but I had not played any of the expansions. All of my expansions were still in Shrink. And I played a game with all of it. Hellas, Venus Next,
Prelude,
Turmoil, Prelude, Colonies, all 5 of them. Just boom, thrown in.
Had I can't believe it.
Fantastic time, but it's not that hard. It was not that hard. So as someone who really enjoys Terraforming Mars, definitely worth checking out. Made me remember all of the fun I have with Terraforming Mars so much that I fired up the Steam game and played a couple of games of it already. So super fun. We can
come back and talk a little bit more about that. But, did you want to just do our top 10 real fast?
Sure. Real fast. My number 10, Raids. Number 9, Next Station London. Number 8, Pessoa. Number 7, Comic Book Bubble. Number 6, Automobiles. Number 5, T for 2. Number 4, Small World of Warcraft. Number 3, Century New World. Number 2, Aeon's End, Legacy of Gravehold. And number 1, Space Station Phoenix.
My number 10 was Pylos.
Oh, that's my number 1.
It's your only one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Continue.
Number 10 was Pylos. Number 9, War of the Worlds. Number 8, Comic Book Bubble. Number 7, Deckscape Mystery of Dorado. Number 6, Balada. Number 5, Century New World. Number 4, T for 2. Number 3, Small World of Warcraft. Number 2, Pessoa. Number 1, Aeon's End, Legacy of Gravehold. And Senor Azul's number 1 was...
Pylos!
Pylos. Because he only played one game.
One game.
You're very low on the new games list.
That's because you're calling me short?
Yes.
No.
You're shorter than Bree.
Oh, yeah.
You're like this big.
Dr. Sign flashing the Azul signs. Also, check out Per Aspera on Steam. I will do that.
Yeah.
Do you know what other cons you will be attending? We're going to talk about that here in a minute, but we will wrap up this segment and we will be right back. Yep.
That was exactly like an hour.
Whoa.
What?
Whoa.
Nailed it. We'll be right back.